Welcome to La Bella Vita podcast, where we celebrate the beautiful life and those that live it. Let's join our host, Michael Anthony Giudicissi. All right, are you happy? Well, that may have to do with where you live as far as the country that you've decided to reside in. Welcome to La Bella Vita. I'm your host, Michael Anthony Giudicissi. Let's get right to it. The happiest countries in the world. I've got the top 10. I've actually got the whole list for you, but we're not going to go over the whole list. Number one, the happiest country in the world, and now 7 years running, Finland. Believe it or not, Finland, to the great white north, Northern Europe. This is actually forcing me to rethink a little bit, or a lot of it, about where I find happiness, because I am not a cold weather guy. I'm cold walking outside in the middle of summer. I spent enough cold winters on the East Coast of the United States to last me forever. But you're going to see in this top 10 that these Nordic countries are the ones heavily represented as the happiest places to live in the world. Finland, number one, 7 years running. Number two, Iceland. Number three is Denmark. Number five, Sweden. Number six, Norway. Number seven, the Netherlands. Number 10, Switzerland, all Nordic area countries. There are some other countries in there, which I skipped over the numbers because they deviate from that geographical area. And the first one at number four is Costa Rica. And you see a lot of Americans that are making their way to South and Central America. Costa Rica, one of the prime destinations. So there's that. Number eight, Israel. I was very surprised to see Israel as a top 10 happiest country. I mean, they're in a war-torn country right now. They're fighting in a desperate ongoing battle. They're always fighting for survival, but the Israeli people have found a way to live happy in that environment. Number nine, Luxembourg. So not quite Nordic area countries, but there's your top 10. Now, it would be fair of you to ask, okay, well, Michael, you're an American, so where does the United States fit in? Well, you got to go down a little ways to get to the happiness quotient for the United States. Number, Michael Jordan, 23. 23rd happiest country in the world. And kind of amazing. Canada, great white neighbor to the north, 25. And that was very surprising because Canadians just seem like lovely, warm, genuine people. I just assumed that they would be happy, but we're going to talk about the things that make a population happy. And then number 29 is the United Kingdom. So Mexico, way high, top 10. Not top 10. Mexico just outside of the top 10 and 12. But Canada, the US, our closest ally in Europe, the United Kingdom, all well down the list. Let's see what goes into making a country happy. First is gross domestic product per capita, essentially saying how much goods and services does each person produce, which then leads its way back to income and also the financial stability of the country you live in, which is really important, right? If you live in a country that's printing, worthless money and has a horrible credit rating, and inflation is skyrocketing out of control, that does not lead to a lot of happiness. So financial stability of the country and its citizens, social support, having someone to count on in times of trouble measured by citizen surveys, and that's the measure. What I can tell you from people I've talked to that have lived abroad, there's also a social component just of your regular lifestyle, whether you can count on those people in times of trouble or not. But the circle of friends, the ability to connect with others, learn from, count on, rely upon, enjoy things, discover things, as opposed to living a more solitary existence. For most people, that former way with the bigger network of people leads to more happiness. This one is the key, I think, for me and probably a lot of people like me: healthy life expectancy. How long am I going to live in a healthy state, in good health? There are places around the world where you can live, you stand a chance to live a long time. But if you're not in good health, what's the point, right? Modern medicine can keep people alive in many cases for a long, long time. But if you're tied to a bunch of drugs and equipment and a bed in a hospital or rehab, for my money, why bother? So the average number of years a person can expect to live in good health, freedom to make life choices. This is big. It's big for Americans, right? We feel we have uh, unbelievable amounts of freedom. So national satisfaction with the freedom to choose what to do with one's life. And there are many, many countries that do not afford that to their citizens. Generosity, average charitable donations adjusted for income. So a percentage of income that is used for charitable donations. And then perceptions of corruption, citizen views on corruption in business and government, reflecting institutional trust. I don't think that there's a whole lot of trust in, at least in this country, in the United States, in our uh, government from either for either party, right? Bitterly divided and opposed. So that's one of the reasons that you see the United States slipping well down the list. So if you take those things into account, the question on my mind would, and I haven't had enough time to ruminate on this, but can you install some of um, those happiness inducing measures into your life no matter where you are? And so let's run them down really quick because they're very simple to find here. Social support. So do you have the network of people? Do you have the friends, the confidants, the people that you could look to in a time of need to be able to help out with something? For many people, the answer might be no, I don't have that. But that doesn't mean you can't have it. It means you have to put some effort forward in order to build that network of people that you enjoy spending time with, that you trust, that would go to the wall for you, and you in turn would go to the wall for them. But that is the key of those six. There's only the six measures that measure this uh, national happiness, and that is one of them. So that you could do almost anywhere, I believe. It might take some people more work than others, but I think you could do it. Gross domestic product per capita. Well, yeah, I guess you could work harder and, and produce more at whatever you're doing. But I think it's more than that. I think it's the financial stability that you have. And we talked about this in the last episode, that money does actually buy the ability to take care of problems, eliminate problems, and cause less stress. And also, you probably can't help your country nationally, but you can choose a place to live that has a better financial picture than where you might be today, a better, stronger financial outlook. But if you're not looking at moving countries, the best you can do is do for yourself, is just create as much financial independence as you're capable of. Healthy life expectancy. Yes, there's tons you could do. If my wife was here, she would tell you about that there are tons of things that you can do to impact your life, your brain, your heart, your body right now. And you can do those on an ongoing basis to give you more healthy years. How many healthy years do you want? 65, 75, 80, 90? All of them? I mean, whatever the number is, you absolutely, positively can impact your life. Now, if it's somebody that already has a terminal disease and they're too far gone, well, that small segment of the population probably can't, but almost everybody can. And I could see, because I'm 62, I can see looking ahead going, okay, well, I don't know how many years I have, but I know the things I want to do. And I know the things that I want to continue doing that I'm doing now. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is I'm going to have to keep myself healthy and vital. Because if I'm just tied to sitting on the couch eating a tuna fish sandwich and a warm glass of lemonade, watching The Price is Right, because I can't get up to do anything else, I'm not interested. I'm out. So, and if that's what you like doing, by the way, if you really enjoy it, by all means, okay. Freedom. So this is the key one. Probably not a ton you can do here um, to change your national freedoms, but freedom, that ability, are satisfied or dissatisfied with your freedom to choose what to do with your life. Uh, don't get caught in the trap of saying, "Oh, I don't have any freedom to do that because I have this and I have that responsibility and I have this and I have the other thing." No, 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 no. What we're talking about here is the national perception of your country to allow you the freedoms to do the things that you want. For instance, many communist countries would not have those freedoms available to many of its citizens. You've got a more direct path of things that you're going to have to do, or very limited choices. Okay. Um, so do you have that freedom from a national perspective? But don't tell me, oh, I don't have the freedom to do a podcast, Michael, because I work two jobs. First of all, working two jobs, I understand it's tough taking care of your family, taking care of yourself. I get all that. I'm not belittling that, but you have the freedom to do a podcast. You have the freedom to look for a new house. You have the freedom to build a cabin in the woods. You have the freedom to go, you have all of these freedoms. Don't let it be a self-limiting decision that keeps you from doing the things you want. Even, and this is a whole nother discussion, but even on a small scale, doing small things that ultimately in jigsaw puzzle pieces could lead to a big change in your life, those you have the freedom to do. Generosity. Yeah, this is something I need to do better on. Have you donated money to a charity in the past month? I haven't. I've donated stuff. I donate a lot of stuff through me, through some of the people that I've worked with. But have I actually written a check in donation in the last month? No, I haven't. Definitely haven't. And I could do better. That I will do better with that. And perceptions of corruption. We're the United States anyway, are corrupt. Uh, uh, Administration and government, and that's across the board. That's not likely to change in a two-party system. So I don't know that we're ever going to get ourselves past that. It's probably endemic of in any number of party system, but if you have 3 or 7 or 9 parties, you have the ability to ferret out um, or you have the ability to have a representative that more suits your vision, your ideals, your desires for your city, your state, your county, your country, whatever it may be. But we have a two-party system, and it's pretty broken. It's pretty broken. So I don't think there's anything you can do about that. You can certainly vote. It gives you a small, tiny little piece of action that you can control. But if you want something different, you probably have to move somewhere else. And power corrupts. And then this is from a movie, I think. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. So, yeah, some of these you can do things about, some of them you can't. But how happy are you? And if you haven't lived anywhere, haven't been exposed to people that have lived in other areas, how do you know how happy that you are? Let's just take one because one of these was really key, healthy life expectancy, and I can sort these. Um, uh, Here are the top Singapore, number 1, Japan, number 2, Republic of Korea, number 3, Iceland, 4, Norway, 5, Switzerland, 6, Sweden, 7, Spain, 8. Would love to be in Spain. Israel, Israel, number 9, and Cyprus, number 10. Yeah. Where does the U.S.? That's an important one, actually. Where does the U.S. fit in there? I didn't get to look this one up, so you're gonna have to bear with me. Ooh, we're getting down the list here. Maybe I missed it because this seems unusually low. It's a scrolling. Oh my gosh. Well, healthy life expectancy, the United States, and we're going in reverse. 56th out of 140 some odd countries, I think. 56th, and we are one of the few countries, including Argentina, that we lost a quarter of a percentage point along the way Turkey, Jordan, Colombia, all down. Thailand down. Sri Lanka, Panama. So that could be one of the reasons why the U.S. has scored so low is because we're just not living our best lives up until the end, but we could. That's what the whole podcast is about. So there you go. You can look up the World Happiness Report, WHR. And this one is at data.worldhappiness.report, and you can crunch the numbers and arrange them or sort them any way you like and check it out. See, maybe there's a move in your future to someplace happier. But let's talk about two people that are just deliriously happy. They've had a great second act, and I can't wait to see what they do with this one and their third. And after we take a short break, we'll be right back talking to Kelly and Carla Kidd, actors extraordinaire, and we'll hear what they have to say right after this. All right. So when you look at in the dictionary, uh, well, maybe with maybe encyclopedia because it's a phrase or a statement. It's of people that are really living life to the fullest. Two pictures come up. One picture with two people, and it's these next two people that come up. It's Carla and Kelly Kidd. I'm going to let them tell you the origin story of how we all met. But I can tell you from kind of following what I call it their second act. I don't know what they call it, but this is kind of the next phase of life for them. They are just living 25 hours a day. It looks like they're having the most fun of anybody in the world. And I want to find out how they're doing it, and you do too. So welcome to the podcast, Carla and Kelly Kidd. Welcome, guys.
Thank you very much.
Hello. Good to
So
see
nice
you.
to see you. Good to see you too. Hey, I got to ask you something, Kelly, because I got honestly never known the truth. When we worked together in a couple films,
hmm
and your hair was always dark. Is this your natural hair color, or are you dyeing it for a role?
No, my natural hair color is probably like gray to silver. It has been probably since I was, sort of getting that way in my 20s. But
Really?
so I can to get the roles that I like. Yeah, I have to. L'Oreal and me are like really friends. So
I got you. So you could go a variety of colors here because I think I've seen you with kind of reddish or a reddish hair. I've seen you now with blonde. I've seen you with black. You can do anything. You're multi
right.
coloral.
It has been it's been dark, but I've been out in the sun so much it bleaches it out. So now all of a sudden I'm going for the blonde surfer boy look. That's me.
Surfer boy. Oh, you scored a surfer boy, Carla.
Surfer boy is definitely the first word that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, thank you both for joining me. I know you're incredibly busy with all your filming because I keep up via social media,
Thank
and
you.
I appreciate you being here. Do I have it right when I say your second act? Because you both had careers before this, and now we're going to talk about what you're doing. But this really is like a whole separate phase of life for you, at least as I see it. Am I right?
Completely.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and was it is it by design? Is it something that just happened? Like how did we go from Carla? Tell us your background.
Well, my background actually kind of piggybacks. I did theater professionally for several years, but I also was a therapist and a psychotherapist, and I stepped away from theater so that I could really focus on that. And for 35 years,
hmm
pretty much that was my job, that was my profession, and I loved it. But I've always loved acting, and so the way you and Kelly met kind of was my one of my backdoor ways to get to play and act and pull him in it without him realizing what I was doing. Um, but the boys are we have got two grown boys, and they'd grown and moved, and um, you know I thought, we've got this time, I'm just going to go take a film class. I'd never done film before. And there's a Fort Worth Actor Studio, is this film acting studio in Fort Worth, which is pretty close to where we live. And about every 6 weeks, they do an immersion weekend, and they call it boot camp. And so for people who have never done anything with film, you can go and just really, you know, go through the basics and get lots of time on camera, and then go through it and just really learn the basics. And I took a weekend and came home on Sunday and told Kelly, "You're going next month because we're doing this.
Yeah,
This
no
was
choice.
too much fun." And then he went and he was like, "You're right. This was fun." So we've just jumped into it.
Got it. And Kelly, you were or are, maybe still are, a reenactor. Um,
Well, I ended up, I was a teacher, okay,
mhm.
and a history teacher and an educator, and so I knew that I couldn't take my kids to see history, so I brought history to them, and a lot of that was all of us dressing up and understanding what it was like to be in a different time period, and the fact that yeah, there were no zippers and you had to plan going to the bathroom and everything, and then all of a sudden I thought I was doing really great with that, and ended up doing some reenacting and developing sort of a little one-man show around different museums across the country, doing historical figure. And then all of a sudden this crazy guy from New Mexico calls me up and goes, "Oh, by the way, do you want to be in my movie?" And then I thought, well, okay,
Yes, he does.
you know I don't know if he's that crazy or not, but if he
Oh, yeah.
definitely crazy enough to the fact that he'd want me. And so there you go. And I ended up getting off that first scene and going, yeah, that was fun. And so I've been doing that, living the dream ever since.
And just so people know, that movie was, oh gosh, can you remember? In their own words, Billy the Kid in the Lincoln County War. But
Mhm.
what a trial by fire, unscripted. Didn't
Yeah,
even tell you that what you were going to be asked. It was like an interview of a historical character, Pat Garrett, and there was no script. So
right.
was
Yeah,
that
I
was
kept
that fair to
asking
throw
you
you
for a
into?
script. Yeah, and you'd go, yeah, we're going to work around that. We're going to work around that. And then all of a sudden you throw it on me. No, you're just going to sit there and I'm going to ask you
Which
questions.
actually, honestly, was the best way to do it, because he hadn't done anything, but he was very immersed in that character. So he was just able to, his first experience on film, be something that was already something he loved.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
all
it
this
was
is your fault,
it was
Michael.
great. Yeah, it was great fun. So this second act of life. Now you're both acting extensively. I mean, every time I see you on social media, I see a new project you're working on, and I'd like to hear about those. But has this become a second career for both of you?
Definitely. I mean, it's one of those where finally when, you know, she retired from being a therapist and I finally decided to hang up the, you know, teaching and everything, and she'd been trying to get me to retire for a while, and we finally said, okay, let's sort of ride off into the sunset and into our next career, and we will act and travel, or travel and act, or do both, and that's what we've been doing ever since.
Uh-huh. That's really great. So to help out some people who are listening, because I talk to, because of the age range I'm in, I talk to a number of people that are on the cusp of, I think maybe I'm kind of done with, I've raised my kids, I've had a career, but I'm afraid of the nothingness that could be next.
Hmm.
And did you two work together, talk together, plan together? Was this more happenstance? Like, what do you say to somebody that comes up to you and goes, "Well, you're doing it. Yes, you're acting and you're traveling, you're living this life, but I can't do that." How do you help them?
My mom used to say, and I love this, when when you were kind of going back and forth on something, should I do that? Should I not do it? I'll be too old when I'm finished. And she would say, "How old will you be in 5 years if you do it?" And I would answer, "How old will you be in 5 years if you don't do it?" Same answer. So do it.
Oh, what a great! I
Just
never
do
heard
it.
that. That's so great. I love that. Yeah.
You know,
So go ahead.
and the other thing, we committed to each other at the time. We will do this until we stop having fun. And if it's ever becomes a job or something that we don't want to do, we're done.
Hmm.
And that gives us a freedom because we don't have to do it.
Hmm.
And but it's something we really, really love doing, and so we get to.
Yeah, yeah, it really is just a kind of a great blessing to have such a drive and a talent to do something else. I mean, it's a total pivot. Obviously, you have the background in theater, but it's a total pivot from being a psychotherapist and being a history teacher and a sports coach to acting now. So I've always wanted to ask you this: have you turned roles down, not because of anybody involved in the production, but because of the role itself, and you said, "Oh no, I can't do that,"
Oh
or
yeah,
"I won't do that."
yeah. Because the fact that like Carla was saying, we don't have to do it to keep the lights on and put food on the table. We do it because we love it. And so, yeah, there are times that, I go, no, I don't like that role, or I don't want to audition for that, or no.
Or there's some things that are just like that's not something I would feel comfortable doing or being a part
Mhm.
of, and that's fine. Different things appeal to different people.
So
And
there's some line in the sand somewhere where you go, yeah, I would go up to this. I see myself doing this, but that's
yes,
just not me.
and
Got
that's
it.
one of the things we did talk about beforehand. What is a hard line for us,
Mhm.
so that
Oh,
because at the end of the day, he's the person I care most about. And so I'm not going to step into something that he would really not want me to be doing, and the same going back and
Yeah,
forth.
yeah. The last movie you want to see is me in a movie and me taking my clothes off. So, that would be a horror movie. So, so we'll draw the line at that, just because, for your sake.
mhm. Okay. Now, is there any amount of zeros that come after the comma that would change that?
Possibly.
Possibly, yeah. Okay. I mean, like, yeah.
I could rethink my
Yeah,
my
there you go.
objections
I
there.
don't care if I traumatize you, if I'm making $1 million. Okay, just letting you know that. Okay,
Uh,
sorry, Mike, but that's the way it goes.
I got it. Hey, how hard is it to be an actor? Because I think you both know, and I've been public saying I hate acting. I've never done it. I don't want to do it. I'm terrible at it. I love actors and I respect the profession so much, but I just can't do it. How hard is it to be an actor? Is this something that a person that moving out of some professional career could pursue?
And it depends on who you are. I actually use the example that you give all the time, about how the fact that when you were in front of the camera, you really hated it, but you were so focused on what's going on behind the camera, and you loved being behind the camera. Well, all that technology just gives me a headache. And so I think I've got the easiest job. I'm in front of the camera, I'm being somebody else, and all these other people have to edit and direct and do all these other things that just, probably, would give me a migraine. So I've got the easiest job, to me.
Mhm. Carla,
I
can
I
anybody do it?
I think that there is a skill set that you can learn. Um, I think that there's also a natural ability, and it's kind of like you can learn how to play the piano, and you can be technically perfect at it, and then somebody else can play the same piece, but if they're an artist, it sounds different,
Mhm.
and that's intangible. So it's a yes and no. Can anybody learn? Anybody can learn the skills,
Mhm.
but there's an intangible piece to it that I think you have or you don't have.
I'm curious how you know if you have it because I have watched a lot of audition tapes that people have sent in, and to be as nice, to sound as nicely as they can. I thought, wow, that's really that's terrible. Like, how do you know? Do you watch it back when you're doing an audition tape, and
1,000%.
do you tell yourself, yeah, this is the best I could do. This is the role, or sometimes do you come up cold and go, that's I didn't get it.
Um, Kind of both. We I think we are very fortunate that we both are doing this, because everything is self tape now. All auditions are the initial one, 99% are self tapes. So you apply for a role, and if they want to see you audition, then they'll send you the sides, the words, and you film that at home and then send it in. Well, because Kelly is also an actor. He's my reader. So like if somebody else is speaking, you know, I'll have someone that actually I can feed off of. And then we watch the tape back together and he'll go, you know, I didn't believe this part or work on that part. And so every time we get an audition, it's kind of like we get to play. So that's kind of a bonus, but yes, definitely we do, you know, you do watch it back, and also surrounding yourself with other people who you trust enough to give you honest feedback, and staying in class. Constant.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a constant. There's just so much to learn.
How many roles do you audition for each one that you get cast in? What's that ratio like?
Oh, and it's different for everybody. I think, you know, in some ways we're very fortunate that probably it could be, we're lucky, probably 10 to 20 auditions we do, we'll get a role out of. I know some people that, you know, they will audition, you know, 40, 50 times and still not get a role. It just depends.
We were actually, like less than 3 weeks ago, we were in a workshop with 2 casting directors from New Mexico, and they had come to Dallas, and we're doing, you know, just a workshop here to get to know people in Dallas and kind of give some feedback. And they were talking about their end of it, which was fascinating, you know, and they said typically, and you're going to have to help me with the numbers, you know, they'll post something and maybe how many people would audition?
Well, if it was regional, they would get somewhere between 500 and 1,000 audition tapes.
Or people requesting to audition. And then they would ask for, like, okay, they would send out actual audition requests to like 100 of those people. So the odds of getting the role are, especially because of self-tapes now, it's open to everybody. You know, the win from our standpoint, the win is if you get asked to audition. That's, you know, because out of 1,000, they're asking 100. So you've already won. You know what I'm saying? And then if you obviously if you get cast, then that's super win, or however you want to say it. But the odds are so slim because there's so much competition, you know, and there's things that you can have a fabulous audition, but you know, your hair color is wrong, or you don't look right with the other person that they're casting in the scene, or you're too tall because the guy, you know, that Kelly always has to fight that one because, you know, it's just it has to look right on scene, on set. So there's so many things that are that you don't have any control over. You just have to take the audition and do everything that you can and then let it go.
From your social media, I just get the distinct advantage that you really love even the audition process.
Very much so.
And I especially see a lot of Kelly's where he'll, you know, again, a little behind the scenes type thing for an audition, like it's a challenge, like it's not a game, but there's some element there of competitiveness, right? That you want to get the role over somebody else, and
Well, I am a little bit competitive, but
a little bit.
It's one of those where me being a really big guy, anger is the easiest thing to play. So I mean, like I tell people, I've got a face for radio and villains. So you know, so I play lots of bad guys. I've been killed in more ways on film than you can imagine, and that's very easy for me. That's sort of my wheelhouse. What I really enjoy is when I get to spread out just a little bit, and all of a sudden I get to read to be a dad. You know, I remember the first time I got to be a dad in a series, and they're going, you know, okay, I'm a dad, right? So I'm a dad that kills people. No, Kelly, no.
No,
This is a Christian production. Okay,
Just a
I'm
dad.
a dad that deals drugs. No, you're just a dad. And so it was a stretch for me because I'd never played just a dad before. So,
I see you looking over at Carla going,
yeah,
how do I do that?
Like, hey, you know, I'll kill somebody if you want me to. I do it on film all the time. So, Yeah. So to be able to stretch that, sometimes I'll post stuff online when I get to play a comedic role. I love comedy, or something goofy that a big 6'5", 250-pound guy you wouldn't expect to be able to play, and so that's fun.
Unless
for
you
us.
actually know him and realize he's just
I am a big goofball. Anyway,
a goofball.
All right. So tell me, each of you, if you would, the one role that you really, really wanted, you aced the audition and you got it.
You go first.
oh, thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
I'm really bad with picking.
Not saying that the other ones were anything less, but there was a role where you said, "Oh, this is perfect for me. I want this," and you got it. It's got to feel
Well,
great.
and like you said before, probably we remember the ones we don't get, because I have thought, I have walked out of here going, this is an awesome audition. They'll probably call me tonight. I mean, it's that good. And and then you never hear anything. And then I've come in here going, that was garbage. I can't believe it, but I'll turn it in anyway because I don't know what to do with it. And then they call up and go, your tape was wonderful. I'm going, really? Okay. So
Are you sure you looked at the right one?
I know you talking to me. So yeah. So it's very odd that, because it's what they're looking for, and sometimes you just don't have that look. You might have a great audition, but in their mind, the writer and the director and the producer, like I said, you've been on that, in before, that they have a certain look in their mind, and that's what they're going for. Probably besides my very first role that I got, that I was totally shocked to get. My very first villain role was in Redemption Salvage Yard Shine Boys. And I played bits and pieces, but this was my very first lead role, and it was so much depth, and I was so excited but terrified, because I'm going, okay, this isn't me just saying a few words. This is me on set for 3 weeks, carrying scenes, and so I was excited, proud, terrified, all in once.
I have a funny story about that role. He had to smoke, and the character had to smoke, and Kelly does not smoke. And he kept putting, I was like, you've got to practice. You've got to be able to do this on screen, and it looked not stupid. So you're going to have to learn. And he kept putting it off because he didn't want to. And we were getting ready to go to set. I was like, the scenes are today. You have to be able to smoke today. So we went outside on the back. And so we're outside, and I'm showing him, you've got and he's learning how to smoke. So neither one of us smoke, but we're out there and he's smoking. And our son at the time was like 20, and he was at the house because he had just come home from college, and he walked out on the back porch and just saw us sitting out there and was like, no.
Okay. All right.
No.
Walked back in and went, my weird parents. Okay.
When they make you smoke on screen, do they have some special cigarettes for that, or are they just regular ones?
No, just regular ones.
Just regular cigarettes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that would be tough. I've never smoked them. I don't think I could. I would have to. I would have to forfeit the role.
Come out onto our back porch. We'll teach you.
Well, that's okay. Later on, for another role, I had to smoke a cigar, and my youngest son taught me how to smoke a cigar. So,
wow.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, we're a weird smoking family, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess so. So, Carla, the number one role that you aimed at and you hit, you got?
There's actually several. I've had the opportunity to have some really cool roles, and I'm very thankful. One that's actually coming out, and it will be in theaters in September, is called I Voted. And we filmed it a couple of years ago, and so it's finally got through post, and they got the distribution, and it's just, the story is just crazy. but the character that I get to play is, I just really, really loved her. And it's I don't know how to describe it. Um, the story's crazy.
Yeah. It's
It takes place at a poll at a voting booth or a voting station, and for reasons that I can't go into right now, the whole thing gets shut down. The sheriff comes in, the doors are locked, nobody's allowed to leave, and obviously the people inside start talking, and you've got all the different characters that represent very strong opinions and very strong,
Oh, cool.
political beliefs. And so you
Yeah.
get into some really interesting conversations, and you see, okay, so there's valid reasons for a lot of these things that it's easy to dismiss. But people come to their beliefs through their own life experiences. And so it's
That's
just,
very cool.
yeah.
Love the idea. So theaters, do we know when?
It will be there in September, and obviously I'm sure it'll be a very short run, but it's just really cool to get to open up in a theater. So
For sure.
and it's called I Voted.
Yeah, and it's already brought home a lot of awards, and like someone sitting next to me won Best Actress award in it. So,
Thank you.
yeah, so very proud of her for that.
Congratulations.
Amazing job.
Okay, before we move on to the next topic, I'm going to give you your dream casting. I've got a indie movie, but it's got a decent budget, $4 or $5 million, and you're going to get to act, each of you, opposite of any actor that you want. They have to be alive, obviously, unless it's Weekend at
Oh,
Bernie's.
man.
That would
Darn.
make it a bit more.
That takes John Wayne out of it. He's my idol. Golly.
So, Carla, who's the dream guy or girl? Doesn't matter. Whatever you want.
Michael, these questions, I don't do good with these kind of questions because I'm.
Oh, did you want me to read?
I like
What's your
that, but
favorite color?
Yeah, it could take me hours. I can't order off a menu either.
Yeah, that's true.
I would love to work with Kathy Bates.
Oh, that would be great.
I think we'd be great sisters.
Uh-huh. Okay, so a sister role with Kathy Bates. Okay, so if any of Kathy Bates's people are listening or watching right now, Carla Kidd.
Fabulous.
Yeah, that'd be great. Kelly?
Wow. I'm like Carl. There's so many out there. I love Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh my gosh. I may need to rethink.
Yeah, I just, like I said, and if there's anybody in Landman, I would love to, work on the next season, please.
Yeah.
But
Ditto.
yeah, it would be fantastic. I think he has just emboldened so many characters. He's just not a one-trick pony, and it's just amazing to watch him take a role and just make it what it is. It's fantastic to watch.
You see, what I think is in Landman, that Billy Bob Thornton, because he's always getting his ass kicked and his head's in a sack, and his blood all over. He needs a bodyguard. He needs somebody to travel with him, but a bodyguard that provides a little comedic relief. That could be the perfect role for you. So
exactly, I totally agree.
Okay. So Taylor Sheridan, if you can hear me, I don't know how, you could write that role in, and Kelly, whatever his quote is, it'll be worth it. So I say you ought to look him up. That's great.
And I'm local, so there you go.
We can walk to Sheridan's sets.
There you go. All right. So the other thing with you two that, aside from all of the acting and that great stuff, is you two love to travel. And I've got to tell you, when I see it on social media, Kelly and Carla are driving home from some production that you filmed, and the next day you're in Ireland. Oh, we found a deal that was too good to pass up. Like, how the heck did you even get so far in such a short period of time? Am I reading this wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Say it again.
Airplanes are amazing things.
They go pretty fast. I get
They're
that.
like teleportation devices. You just walk on and then you get off somewhere else.
Tell us about the traveling, please, because you do quite a bit of it, and you seem just to really enjoy it.
Well, I mean, we've both always loved to travel, and it's just, we were always just either too busy or too poor for a long time. And so my parents always took me on road trips. And so, I love going across, the country, and I wanted to do that for my boys. And, we did that. And then we found ourselves, when our boys were young, in a really big house, and we were house poor. And we sort of sat in this big house, and we couldn't do anything because we had a huge house payment. And Carla and I talked, and I said, we want to travel, but we can't. What do you think about selling the house and downsizing so we can travel? And she goes, well, let's talk to the boys. So we set the boys down and said, would you rather be here and go to school with your friends that you have now, or us move to a smaller house and then us start traveling? They didn't miss a beat and go, Mom and
Where
Dad,
are we going?
we want to travel. And so from that point on, we started, booking cruises and going all over the place. And then we've just had bigger dreams. On my bucket list is, before I die, I want to go to every country in the world. And so we're trying to notch those off as much as possible.
We probably won't get to every country.
Hey, let's have
It's a good goal.
But we're working
Come on.
it. We're working. And the other thing is, we travel hack. So like some people's stress relief is gardening or, running or whatever. My stress relief all my life, or for the last 30 years, has been, I love to just look at travel sites and find I can spend hours just finding those backdoor ways to get to go places. And it's kind of, we like to do the local things. So we don't necessarily want to go to the big fancy place. We don't want to stay in the big hotel because I can do that here. I want to stay in the hostel. I want to stay with the family that lives there and really kind of immerse and get to know the culture. And that's something that was really important to us to give to our kids, that they didn't see the shiny stuff so much as the reality and the people, and realizing people are the same everywhere. We have the same dreams. We have the same wants and the same humanity. We just speak different languages. So we have to get out of our bubble and experience that.
Yeah. How many countries have you been to? Did we have an official count?
60.
60. How many
Yeah.
countries are there?
There is 186.
Okay, so we're a third of the way there, but the pace has obviously picked up now that you have more free time. So, okay,
And
do we have
the close countries we've ticked off pretty good. It's those really far off now, or the ones that you might be killed in, that are a little more problematic. So.
Let me ask you though, because seriously, it's a great goal. I've heard other people that have had that goal. If you were to go to Afghanistan, like ever, it's probably not the safest place for Americans, but would you ever go to a place like that? Is there something? What would you want to see or experience going to such a different culture than we have?
Well, and I'm at that point to where I know some people, they feel, well, to be officially in the country, I have to stay so many days and see so many things. No, I'm okay to put my foot in it and then get right back out. I will check that off. That's my list. Okay. So yeah, there are a few countries that I'm just going, yeah, can I just step in it, step right back out? I can mark that off. Next country. Okay. So yeah. So there's some countries I don't have to spend a lot of time in by any means.
Sure. Do you look for acting roles and auditions for films that are going to be shot in some of these countries? Have you merged these two loves yet?
Oh yes, I would love to be able and to go internationally and do a film. I've had the amazing opportunity to go across this country and do that to different states, but I've never had a chance to go to a different country yet. I would love that.
And our
Carla,
passports
same.
are valid if anybody wants us.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Even though you can renew them online now, so it's a lot quicker
Yes.
process, but good deal. Yeah, I got to tell you, there was one day, I don't know if it was Ireland or Scotland, it was somewhere in that region. It looked like Kelly was at Bucky's the night before, filling up the car with gas. And then 3 hours later, you're across the world. And I did a triple take. I said, wait a minute, that's not even possible. But somehow it was possible. You figured it out. So
Hey, we flew in last night, so, you know, I mean, we were on an airplane yesterday.
yeah, I gotcha. So hey, Kelly, in addition to being a reenactor and an actor and a teacher and a coach, you're also a book character, or you're actually two book characters. In two books that I've written. So I first wanted to thank you for allowing me to use the infamous Kelly Childs instead of Kelly Kidd.
Completely
It was a
different
big,
from Kelly Kid.
yeah. I'm trying to remember which book it was now. I can't remember the number of the book in the Back to Billy series, but I had a lot of fun writing that and fed you a
Yeah,
few quotes
because you
along
had
the
the
way.
12 books in that
In that
trilogy, right?
trilogy.
But I remembered while I was preparing that I also include this is 31st New Jersey, so it's a separate kind of a spin-off series, and I just realized that there is a I don't know where the name came from, so I had to ask you about it. Cornelius Kelly Kidd from Arlington, Texas. Is Cornelius your name, or did I come up with that?
You came up with that. I don't know where Cornelius came from.
I have no idea. And I knew that I had used at least your last name and I knew I had used Arlington, but gosh, I looked at it and thought, where the heck did that thing come from? And so I guess it came from my warped mind. But I did see one quote here I wanted to, and I think this would make you proud as Texans. I think this might be one of the best things I've wrote. Over and over, Sims exhorted his men to rain hell on the hill to no good effect. With his field glasses, Sims could see that his opponents were from Texas and cut from a cloth that would not likely fray. There would be no capitulation. They'd fight until their last man was dead. With the pluck of a Texas soldier, they might even fight beyond that. Did I capture them?
Well, very much
Nice.
that
Yeah.
that
Nice.
embodies Texans right there.
Yeah, it sure does. Gosh, I miss the heck out of Texas, and the more I talk to you, the more I miss it. So, um, tell us about what projects you have coming out and where people might be able to see it, please. You
Well,
have a
right now,
series.
yes, we are working. We've just, it's really weird. We ended up in this business. If you've been in it long enough, you'll be part of a project that you know never makes budget, but you think, man, this would be great if you could just get the money for it, or a proof of concept that can't find a distributor. And prior to probably the last 5 or 6 years, that was the gatekeeper. You couldn't go past that. Well, now with streaming services and now with web series and and verticals and the genre and everything, now there's a third option for filmmakers to actually have some control over the distribution of their content and maybe get it out to where it's not sitting on a bookshelf with dust all over it. And so we've got so many friends that are filmmakers around here that have amazing talents as actors and directors and DPs and stuntmen and all of this, that we all hang out together and we always talk about it would be great if we did something together. Well, we had a friend and he bought a new camera and he goes, hey, I want y'all to come up and shoot something because I want to check out all the new settings on my new camera here. Sure. We went up there and in a matter of minutes, this little short scene, we realized, wow,
This is fun.
this is fun. I like working with everybody, and this is something. So in, a matter of a day and a half, Carla and I came home and wrote a, 20 episode series.
So we accidentally wrote a series.
Yeah.
That's basically what happened. It was like, that was not the plan.
Not at all. And we ended up getting our friends together and coming in on this vision of, let's make this, let's see if we can put it out, have control over our content, make it the way we want to make it, and see what we come up with. And so over the last couple of months, we've been shooting a series that has really focused on almost the B serials of the 40s and 50s with cliffhangers, but we have high production value. We've got explosions, stunts, amazing locations, and it's just because of all the people we know going, I believe in you, and I believe in what you're doing. Sure, I'll do that. And it's been a fantastic,
it's been
amazing process. Honestly. We're close to literally finishing. We've got 2 more days of shooting, and then we're off into the editing room. And so it's really going to be neat to see how it turns out. And just the stuff that we've seen so far, and the footage has been just mind blowing. And so it's exciting.
And that series is called?
It's called The Core.
The Core. Okay. Do we know yet where we'll see it?
No.
Probably the easiest way for us to put it out will be on like a YouTube channel. And then
so it'll be access to everyone.
Yeah. And then the more subscribers, you get that monetized. And if it does well, then we already have locations and people set up for season 2. We're in the midst of already sort of kicking around and writing that as well. So, it is a, small independent project. You know about that, where you wear 15 different hats. And so, but it's been exciting to see it all come together, and just sort of sometimes see that magic happen.
And it kind of underscores what this whole thing is about, where you just do it. We didn't plan to make a film. We didn't plan to do that, but we were open to it when the opportunity came, and it was fun. And so it's like, okay, I don't know how to do this. I'll learn, and so now I'm as I'm going through social media, it's like I've got 700 content creators and that I'm now following, because they realize, the algorithm's like, oh, she keeps looking up editing things. We need to give her more of those, and so you just learn. And it's like, okay. And so this is a piece I really, really enjoy. I'm not going to do that part again, because I hate that, but how would I know if I didn't do it?
Right.
And it's, we're playing with our friends.
Yeah.
I mean, how many grown adults get to go, I spent Saturday blowing up cars with my friends.
Well, how many get to say it and not go to jail for it?
Good.
So,
Okay.
There you go.
That is a nice caveat.
Yeah. And it is really.
Yeah, I was going to say, last Saturday, we filmed a car chase. I mean, how often do you get to go zooming around someplace and filming a car chase and having, cameras all over the place and drones flying everywhere and just, things flying and people, catching air. And I mean, it was a blast.
And done
cool.
very safely.
Yes.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. It really is a golden age for the entertainment industry, if you choose to look at it that way. Some people will bemoan the fact that, oh, well, there's all these big Hollywood films and there's nothing in the middle anymore. But the access to be able to bring your story, your message out to people is available to everyone. I mean, you got a device you could film on if you wanted to. I mean, if you take enough care, you can make an entire film on something. So it's fun to see, and it's exciting to follow people like both of you that are out there doing it, and not just doing it. I think the thing that I get that I enjoy most is the joy that you do it with, as opposed to oh, here's this grind because we want to be these big Hollywood A-listers and we're not going to be happy if we don't get there. It's just, it seems like you enjoy it so much from following. I see you in the car driving to set or driving home. I see you, jetting all over the world. It's really cool. And so I'm going to ask you if you have, if we have viewers that are saying, yeah, but they can do it, but I can't, or I don't even know how to get started. What do you tell them? How do you get them off of the couch and into the game?
Well, I mean, realize where I was. I mean, 6 years ago, I'm teaching high school history and coaching baseball.
Mhm.
The last thing I thought, if you came up to me and said, here in a few years you're going to be an actor, I would think you're smoking something, and so, I mean, if it can happen to me, the fact all of a sudden, I have a career change and now all of a sudden I'm having so much fun, then it can happen to you. And it's just, what do you want to do and what do you want to have fun doing? Then go out and do it.
Mhm. Yeah, what are we waiting for? It's like your mom said, 5 years, how old will you be? How old will you be if you don't do it, right? The
Exactly.
time passes at the same rate for all of us, but it doesn't get used as effectively and efficiently by everybody. Carla, your words of wisdom?
My mom's words of
Yes,
wisdom.
definitely. She was a
Yeah,
wise woman.
yeah, yep. Awesome. Thank
I would
you to,
I
oh,
would
go
also
please.
say just plug into a class. If you're interested in it, plug into a class. In the Dallas Fort Worth area, there's a ton of different acting classes you can go to and just see if it's something you enjoy. You may get there and go, "Oh yeah, I totally hate this." Well, then don't
Mhm.
okay, let's now you go to do something else. But you may just fall in love with it. And the neat thing is we don't go we went the Fort Worth acting studios where we first plugged in, and they're still doing those weekends, and
Mhm.
I cannot recommend them highly enough. Nathan and Delitha, who run that studio, are just amazing people, and it's our family. Even though we are not there very often anymore because our schedules don't allow us to be, but they are still our film family. And we're I mean, it's so exciting because we see people that are that we knew from there, or people that are going there now, and then they go off and they're doing things, and it's just, you're excited for each other's wins. And you have to, in this business, you have to make those relationships.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
what sustains you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you two are doing it. You've made the relationships. Now you've made the films. Now you've made the core series. The core series coming up. Will we see it this year? Or I mean, we got a
Oh
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
editing to do.
We'll
This year?
probably get into editing later this month, and
Hmm.
probably through September. We're shooting probably for like an October date to distribute it.
Gotcha. Okay, so at
Most
least the first
optimistic
episode.
person in the world.
Yeah, and then I voted feature film the September in theaters
Yes.
with Carla Kidd, and that one's I'd love to see that. Thank you both so much for taking the time
You're so welcome.
to
Thank
do
I
you.
want
this.
to say one more thing, as far as
Yeah.
something I'm in on Tubi, and I say Tubi because it's free on Tubi, so go to Tubi. There's a series, it's a Christian series, faith based, called After, and
Mhm.
it's 8 episodes. If anybody is interested in looking for something faith based, um,
After AFTER.
Hmm.
AFTER. I come in episode 5, but it's 8 episodes, and they are already writing season 2, and that, I mean, that's a cool thing if somebody is interested. And Tubi is free.
Mhm.
Free is
Good
good.
stuff. Hey, is there one place where people can go to see all of your, like, to see what you're up to or what you're working on or what you've done already? Or do they
Um,
just need to
I,
find you on social media?
well,
Yeah.
I'm I am on Instagram. Probably my Instagram is the most. I put the most acting related stuff there. But anytime anybody wants to look up anybody in any kind of film, IMBD is the International Movie Database. So it's
Hmm.
imbd.com, and you can look up anybody by name, and everything they've ever done is listed there.
Kelly and Carla Kidd, Kidd with two D's, not Kelly Childs. That's a fictitious character. But yeah, really, it's been such a
Not
treat to talk
Cornelius.
to you. No, it's not Cornelius. Not that we know of, but now some Cornelius kid is going to come out of the woodwork and go, "You took my name." But yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been great fun, and thanks for sharing your story with not just with the rest of my listeners, but with the world through your acting. Great job, keep it up, and
Thank you so much
I'll
for
Thank
inviting
you.
I'll
us.
see you in Afghanistan, maybe.
Okay.
You
I
all
might
take
just
care. Thank you.
bye bye.
Take care. Thank you. All right. So great stuff with Kelly and Carla Kidd, two of the nicest people you could really ever want to meet. And yeah, they're doing it. They're living La Bella Vita. They're living the beautiful life, and they've defined what that life is for themselves. You have the same opportunity. I have the same opportunity. We all do. We get to define whatever that beautiful life is, whether it's the relationships you have, or the things that you pursue, or the place that you live. You get to define that, and then once you figure out what it is, then you can go after it. They've done it. You can too. We're going to come back with our Italian word of the day, and we'll be back right after this. Oh, how about those kids, huh? I just love them. I've got to work with them on. I'm looking at my movie posters. One, two different films that I made in the past, and they have just taken it now to another level, another several levels. But when you think of people who just exude satisfaction and thankfulness and gratitude in life, that Kelly and Carla Kidd are the two that really just strike me. It was a no-brainer for me to reach out and see if they would come and talk to me, and it was so great that they did. So, in that vein, let's talk about our Italian word of the day. And since I just said gratitude, let's use that. The word for gratitude is gratitudine. Gratitudine in Italian. So we've got happiness and we've got gratitude. You're starting to see a pattern develop, hopefully. One time is a data point, two times is a trend, three times is a pattern. So we're going to make sure that in our next episode, we continue with that and give you some of those great Italian words for some of the things we're talking about, which is la bella vita, living the beautiful life. I hope you're living it. I hope if you're not, that you want to, and you work your way towards that. I hope you know that nobody's life is perfect. Nobody is. So there's one person in the world that's the happiest. I don't know who it is, but there's one person. Everybody else is underneath that by some tiny, minute billionth of a fraction. But I hope you know that if you take control of your life, if you take control of your living environment and your relationships and your interests and those kind of things, you can really live that beautiful life. And it looks different, as I said, for everybody. Always looks different. So what I would judge to be my best, happiest life, you might look at and go, really? No way. I like this better. And that is the whole premise behind our podcast, is bringing you people from all walks of life that are living and enjoying their best life, so you can learn until you find the one and you say, yeah, that person, they're living the life that I want to. And when you see it, bookmark it, listen to it, make notes on it, study it, and then get up and start doing it. Start doing it. Hey, if you are living the Bella Vita, hey, get in touch with me. BillyTheKidRidesAgain@gmail.com, or you can just leave a comment down below underneath the video, and give me some contact info, and let's talk. See if you might be a great guest to come on and share your story and your lessons of how to live such a great, beautiful, wonderful life. Until then, I think you're all beautiful. I think you're all wonderful. No, I strike it. I know you're beautiful and wonderful, and I hope you have a great time until we meet again. Living la bella vita. Bye.